Happy Monday, Facebook. Mary Jo, if you're on, sing the good morning song. Everybody get some coffee. I got mine. Actually spilled some on myself. Coming out here in the yard. Good morning, ROCovery Fitness. Good morning, Facebook. Happy Monday. June something. 22nd? Yeah, that sounds about right. June 22nd. Mary Lynn, good morning. Happy Father's Day. Thank you. Happy Monday. How was your weekend? It was hot. Wasn't it hot? It was hot. I tried, yesterday I had to, on my training schedule was a 10-mile run. I made it 8.5. I started later than I wanted to. There was I had all kinds of issues going on yesterday morning. I ended up doing 8.5. It was just too hot for me. By the time I was done with that, I was back toward the parking lot. I said, nope, that's it. That last 1.5 miles is not happening. So I practiced self-care and got out of the heat. And I'm good, Mary Lynn. Thank you. Really good. Had a good Father's Day. So like I said, started out with a run. Probably not as early as I should have started, but Mo got my iced coffee. Yeah, that's a good option for today too, isn't it? Although it feels pretty good right now. It's not too bad. It's gonna get hot again today though. Dog sitting in Lima this weekend, camped in the backyard. Oh, that's neat. Oh yeah, yay, camping. So I'm gonna talk about camping today too. But yeah, Father's Day was good. Nice run. I had a good run, and then went to visit my dad's gravesite. He passed away about 26 years ago, so it's been a while, and just made me realize I don't visit nearly enough. I spent some time there. His burial plot is like under a shaded tree, and it was just nice to go hang out for a little while and talk to him, and then just pretty much relax the rest of the day. I was pretty beat up from the run in the morning. It was I did the Whiting Road, Gosnell, Webster Park circuit, and although most of it was pretty shaded, it was still really hot. Like I said, made 8.5 out of 10 anyways. Took it easy yesterday. And then my boys took me out to dinner last night. We went to Core Life. Yay! One of my favorite places to go eat. And they had reopened, so other than having to wear masks when you order and stuff like that, it was relatively normal-ish, but it was good. And my youngest son, who just started working a landscaping job recently, actually paid for dinner, so that was really nice. Yeah, so that was it, because he asked me, what do you want for Father's Day? I'm like, I don't really want anything. Just to have everyone together and not have to worry about how everyone's gonna eat for once. It would be nice. So he did that. So that was really cool. And we had fun. We had some laughs, and it was a good time. So overall, really good weekend. I got myself a Father's Day gift because we're going to the mountains this coming weekend. Yay! Going to the Adirondacks. Probably going to get 4 high peaks this coming weekend. So, but last season, my friend Hank got a camping hammock, and this was something that intrigued me, and I wanted to. And he said it was a great experience. It was very comfortable to sleep in, and he was looking forward to doing it again. So I got one. Anyway, I put that up, just tested it out over the weekend, and kind of hung out and did some reading. I'm reading a really good book right now, and did some reading and actually kind of fell asleep a little bit. And it was pretty amazing. So we're heading up early Friday morning through Sunday to go do some high peaks with some good friends. So I'm looking forward to that. And like I said, I tested out the camping hammock this weekend, so that was cool. So camping, Mo, yes, get it done. This week's running, today is kind of a cross-train day, but I think it's going to be a rest day for me. I think my legs really feel like they could use a little bit of a rest, so I'm going to rest today. And then we got 5 miles, 8 miles, and 5 miles for the week. And then this weekend is going to be high peaks, so that's going to be my training this weekend. A lot of miles. I think we've got a Friday, we're going to drive up, like I said, early. Like, we're going to leave here about 2 in the morning, go do a couple of high peaks on Friday before we go to camp. I think that's going to be like 10-ish miles. And then Saturday is going to be about 18 miles in another 2 peaks. I think we're going to do Cliff and Redfield on Saturday. Rocky Ridge Peak and Giant on Friday. So that's the plan. So that's, I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait to do that. But this week's runs are getting up there. Hi, Sue, good morning. Got your coffee or iced coffee, whichever the case may be? I do. So they say the temperatures are supposed to come back down after a couple of days of another heat, hot and humid days here. Like Wednesday or so, the temps and humidity are supposed to come back down a little bit, which is good. It'll be good for the mountains. But yeah, looking forward to that. And then so yeah, we're talking about this week, or not this week, but 4th of July. So next week, we've got this coming weekend, and then next weekend is the 4th of July weekend. And then the weekend after, or the week after that, we're going to be restarting some of our outdoor programming. So we're going to do a hike on the 4th of July. It's going to be sort of our reintroduction of outdoor programming. So I'm pretty excited about that. We just talked about that on Friday. So you're going to see a new schedule come out really, really soon. And then I'm also going to have a couple of outdoor classes starting as well. So, not only are we going to do the hike on the 4th of July, but every 4th of July we also, Brian Quinn does does a group class as well. So I think it's looking like he might do something outdoors, socially distanced, but yeah, so 4th of July weekend, keep an eye out for that. That was exciting to talk about on Friday. And then, so it's starting to look like my Couch to 5K class is also going to be outside, and starting that's the week after that. So I think it's the 7th, the Tuesday. It'll be every Tuesday. So our first run of the week is on Tuesday, because Monday's a rest day on the schedule for the Couch to 5K class. So Tuesdays at 6, it's going to restart at Seneca Park, where we traditionally start our 5K classes. So I think as it stands right now, groups of 25 are allowed. We may see that open up to more by the time the classes and outdoor programming starts. So we're assuming it's going to start opening up more, but we'll see. Right now, I think the group sizes are mandated to be 25 or less. So we'll address that as it gets closer. And then Friday night trail runs are going to start again too, which is awesome and exciting. So I've announced it here on Facebook Live that our outdoor programming is going to restart the weekend of 4th of July and the week after that. So we're going to have some outdoor classes beginning, which is very exciting. I'm so excited. It made such a great weekend because I cannot wait to get back into our interactive one-on-one 3D people support and our classes. So it's going to be amazing. And again, the Couch to 5K is a really accessible program. It's so it's very mild to begin with. It's very short jogging intervals with walking. So Stephanie, hey, good morning. Yay, Mo. Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Yes, it is fabulous news. Sorry to boast, but I'm not teacher Zoom anymore. Oh yeah, yes, school is also done, so that's awesome. But yeah, hopefully we can get a pretty decent turnout for some of our outdoor programming as it starts back up again. I'm really looking forward to that. And it's interesting because, I mentioned this book that I'm reading as well. It's Gabor Mate in the Realm of Hungry Ghosts. And it's interesting. I mean, it's about primarily, obviously, it's about addiction. It's subtitled Close Encounters with Addiction. And it gets in a lot of neuroscience and things like that about addiction and genetic predisposition and things like that, but even more so regarding environment, right? And how our environment plays into our addiction oftentimes, or supports it, or sort of rewires our genetics in our brains for addiction. So but this a part, even when he discusses the neuroscience of addiction, he relates to how in early childhood, you hear about adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, and the ACE scores. The higher ACE scores people get, the more predisposed they are to addiction. And he says that, even through all that, the ACEs actually help support neuro development or not, right? Or limit your neural pathways. So I highlighted one portion in particular, and it's the stress reactivity as we're developing as children. Good morning, Kendall. Hi. I was by you yesterday out in Webster Park running. It was good, but it was hot. And I highlighted this. Stress also diminishes the activity of dopamine receptors in the emotional circuits of the forebrain, particularly in the nucleus accumbens, where the craving for drugs increases as dopamine function decreases. And I highlighted the research literature has identified 3 factors that universally led to stress for human beings: uncertainty, lack of information, and loss of control. Sound familiar? Yeah, kind of the world we're living in right now, right? To these we may add conflict that the organism is unable to handle, and isolation from emotionally supportive relationships. So, I mean, I highlighted that because it really sort of highlights, all of those things kind of highlight our life and the world that we're living in the last, 2 or 3 months, right? And it's no wonder why we're seeing so much more return to use and overdoses and all this other stuff going on right now. And I feel like it's more important than ever, and that's why I'm so excited about our outdoor programming restarting, because I think that, I don't think that, I know that it's important in our recovery to reconnect, even on a very awkward basis, social distancing, wearing masks, stuff like that. It's still, I can feel it in myself, and I like to think that I've got a strong supportive network and a strong recovery program, and I've struggled, and I feel that inner just dis-ease sort of taking over as time goes on, right? I feel that maladaptive pattern starting to take form again the more I stay isolated. So it's just it's funny how these these things that we read and these things that we come across are very timely at times if our eyes are open to them. But the research is certainly out there that says our connecting is healthy, and it helps us in our recovery, and that supportive, social, nurturing, I mean, a lot of the stuff about the neuroscience talks about, you know, that prenatal and postnatal nurturing helps our brains develop healthy patterns of coping, and it happens long before, you know, we're conscious of it. So it's really interesting. I really recommend that book as well. It's one that, you know, I talked about the Johann Hari books that I've read in, you know, in our seclusion, and they've been very good. But he talks a lot, and talked to Dr. Mate when he was working on those books, and a lot of the research. You know, Rat Park I talk about all the time, and, you know, we talk about at ROCovery, you know, the similarities between you know, Rat Park and ROCovery is, you know, it's sort of the same thing, right? When we have lots of healthy things to do with social connections and everything else, it just you know, it makes us want to be present. It makes us want to be here for the relationships in our lives. So I am really looking forward to getting those reconnected here soon and getting back with you all. I think I see Nicole on. Hi, Nicole. Which book is that? I probably missed that part. Oh, it's Dr. Gabor Mate, In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts. It's a big book. It's a thick book, but it's really interesting because not only, you know, does he talk about the science and the neurobiology, but, you know, the social aspects of addiction. And he worked in actually really interesting Vancouver, Canada, the site of the first ever safe injection site or safe consumption site in North America, because their addiction rate and overdose rate there was just so out of control that they were willing to try anything to bring it under control. And the Portland Society in Vancouver was a society that was established that took over a bunch of old dilapidated hotels and things like that to house homeless and marginalized populations in the Vancouver area, to be able to provide them with care. So it was truly, it's still there, a harm reduction model. So they weren't forcing anyone to be sober. They were just saying, you know, here are the linkages, you know, to support if you want it and need it, and if not, we're going to help you try and be as safe as you possibly can be, you know, to stay alive for as long as you possibly can be. So he was the medical director of the Portland Society, which serviced, I don't know, I think he mentions 5 different sites within the Vancouver downtown east side area of Vancouver. So he recounts all the experiences of working with, you know, some very not well individuals, and what that was like in that experience, and, you know, his learnings, and then also relates some of his own, you know, behavioral addictions. He was the product of his mother actually gave birth to him in concentration camps. I don't know if it was Austria, but anyway, so he attributes some of the, you know, his addictive patterns. He has a behavioral addiction, and he started to see the similarities of that between substance and behavioral addictions, and how, you know, they're not so very different. So it's really interesting. It's a really good book. But anyway, I digress. We'll get back to talking about running. So I'm gonna do 5 tomorrow, probably at Casey Park. I'll do 8 at my favorite place, Whiting Road, on Wednesday, and then another 5. I don't know where I'll do that. Maybe I'll go down to Mendon on Thursday and do 5. And then this weekend, I think in the run schedule it says to do a 10K race, which is like a 6-mile thing, and then a couple of rest days before that. But I'm going to do some mountains, so we'll mark that down as training instead. So I'll see you guys Wednesday morning at 7:30. Thanks for joining me here today, and I'm going to read a couple more comments before I go. Oh, Mo, great. Lost Connections was an amazing book. I'm going to go back and reread that again as well after I finish Dr. Mate's book. I've got a couple more I got to get through too. I bought a whole bunch of books, so I'm going to be bringing some of them to the mountains with me anyway. Not that I'll get a lot of opportunities to read, but definitely have gone through a lot of books through the last 3 months. I got a few more assignments that I can maybe do some personal reading. Yes, awesome. Great, Nicole. Yeah, and we got a couple of weeks off from Nicole is in my, we take the KSAC classes together through NCADD, and those have obviously taken a little bit of a sabbatical, and we've been doing some online stuff, so hopefully those will restart soon, maybe, at the very least online, but yeah, so we got a couple weeks off from that. I'm gonna go do some mountains, and 4th of July weekend we're gonna restart some in-person stuff for ROCovery. So looking forward to seeing everybody there and reconnecting and doing some hikes and some outdoor stuff. It's gonna be so much fun. And until then, I will see you guys Wednesday morning at 7:30 right here, and then Friday at noon I'm going to be in the mountains, but my Road to ROCovery live feed will be broadcast, pre-recorded. I have some video clips and tips, and then the first week schedule. So we're going to start it virtually and then engage personally the 7th of July, Tuesday. I think that's the 7th. I don't know. The Tuesday after the 4th, 6 o'clock at Seneca Park. So I will see you guys soon. Thanks again for joining me. Thanks for saying hi. I love you guys. I miss you, and I cannot wait to see you in person, and that is coming soon. You guys have a great Monday. Stay cool.